I greet my viewers with our message of liberal politics, and actually want to pay attention to the growing racist and corrupt tendencies in American politics. For instance, recent statement of U.S. Senator Chris Dodd about wages being the best social program is a testimony of that kind of congressional corruption. Wages were never been a social program. Social program are benefits that have been paid without work. Wages are being paid for work done. They are not social program, not even close. So therefore, Chris Dodd has been spent too much time, like about more than 20 years in his congressional seat, which is actually practically I consider usurpation of power and being corrupt, being paid by imperialists, by rich people in order to be a side of imperialist interests of narco mafia and stuff like that. And I believe that some American businessmen may be connected with narco mafia imperialist circles. For instance, Democratic Senator Conrad, who was touting pay-go, I believe a pay-go, quote-unquote, in his own words, is a symbol of corruption, congressional corruption. And as he was talking about pay-go, the same like Democratic congressional majority whip, talking about the same pay-go. Pay-go is a symbol of corruption, as there is no such rational word in the English language like pay-go. But probably Senator Conrad used to receive illegal donations from imperialist circles. That's why he is touting his corruption as a pay-go. And I also believe that a recent statement by former U.S. Congresswoman Democratic Congresswoman Hilda Solis about black and Hispanic men and women, receiving wages about 40 cents less than whites make is without any quoting her sources or any references to where she got this information. Is another testimony of this Democratic would-be Secretary of State, Hilda Solis, being a racist, because there is no proof of evidence whatsoever that her statement might be true, because she never quoted her sources or no made any references to any kind of statistical materials or statistical survey conducted by organizations engaged in statistical also sociological research. She has no credibility with making such racist statements. And I believe that Barack Obama, him being a racist, and as he refused to appoint any black Democrats to any senior Obama administration post, and I believe that Barack Obama opposes actually immigration and actually opposed to immigrants, because he actually avoids even word amnesty. Instead, he pointed immigrants to the back of a line, like he is very reactionary, and he also said that the only words you can believe would come from his mouth, not from change.gov, that touts some limited immigration amnesty. But instead he refused to say word amnesty, which needed to be made presidential bill in order to for illegal immigrants to legalize their position in illegal immigrant work, and for human rights abuses to stop. And I believe that Barack Obama doesn't understand the severity of his own situation. If tainted by corruption, Democratic Illinois governor Blagojevich starts testifying about narco-mobster Risky, who paid cash money for both campaigns of President Barack Obama, and with tainted by corruption Democratic governor Blagojevich, then Democratic President Barack Obama will experience with serious attacks of press, of liberal-minded press, or mainstream press. At least he will actually be subject of impeachment hearings on part of U.S. Congress. And if he doesn't want to be impeached by Congress, President-elect Barack Obama, he should stop war in Afghanistan. Otherwise, with losses of young American lives, will instigate U.S. Congress to impeach him. And actually, Barack Obama should stop at war in order to become progressive leader of the United States, if he wants to be progressive. Because only progress of this nation, the only way it comes through peace. If President-elect Barack Obama refuses from peace enough, and he refuses to amnesty, and he refuses to raise wages of American workers to $10 an hour at least, he's a very reactionary politician, and he's mercenary imperialists, such as Risky, who went to jail for on charges of money laundering, according to Los Angeles Times. And I believe that Barack Obama should understand that he is not, his position of president is not impregnable, and he just rides the emotions of his electorate instead of trying to pay his co-liberal constituency with liberal politics, such as withdrawal U.S. troops from Afghanistan, withdraw all NATO troops from Afghanistan, and also piece of stopping private missile attacks against Pakistani Afghani Muslim villages, which is a genocidal politics. So, and I believe that he should raise minimum wage to $10 an hour, and also declare amnesty to illegal aliens, alien workers, and also make a same-sex marriage presidential bill in order to uphold civil human rights of Americans and avoid extreme rise in retail gasoline prices, which might be administered by OPEC, which is controlled by Muslim Arab nations. Might sympathize liberal movement in America. And I believe also that recent Israel attacks against Palestine are extreme, because they just fire and tank shells and tank cannons from distance without seeing their targets. So they're hitting civilian houses, which is a violation of international law. And I believe that Israel should only use Marines in order to destroy artillery position of terrorists with fire Grad, Russian Grad, and Qassam rockets. And I believe that Israel should refrain from indiscriminate bombardment of Palestinian housing quarters and assassination of suspected terrorists. Because assassination of suspected Hamas terrorists is a crime. It will instigate Hamas rank and file members to commit terrorist acts, suicidal terrorist acts against Israel, which counterproductive, I believe, is imperialist politics of right-wing extremists from Kadimik Party, which run like Prime Minister Olmert and the rest of his clique, his right-wing extremists, that consider Arabs inferior to Jews, but they're racist, which stands on racist positions. I believe that they should recant from racist politics of indiscriminate bombardment of Palestinian territory, assassination of suspected terrorists, which is a crime, is a state terrorism, and murder and hate crime, and to only instigate Muslim terrorists, to commit suicidal acts of terror.